Hi, I'm Anna Grace with Myers Equipment and Supply, your dealer for the complete line of Can-Am side-by-sides and ATV products. For hunting, farming, or riding the trails, Can-Am has the models you need. If you choose the Can-Am Defender side-by-side, which is engineered to maximize a hard day's work on the farm or on a hunt, Defenders offer 20% more torque than its rivals. You can carry 1,000 pounds of payload or tow 2,000 pounds of cargo. You will appreciate Can-Am's precision engineering and industry-leading performance. Come into Myers Equipment today and see the full line of Can-Am ATVs and side-by-sides. Can-Am, the ride says it all.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Real Talk here on TV 35. I am your host, Pat Brock, and we're here on the beautiful campus of the Carl Vinson VA Medical Center. And we're here talking with some outstanding female veterans. We want to hear all about their stories. They're going to share with you about their families, their journey through the military, and their transition to where they are now. We've got nurses with us. Hi, girls.
Hi.
Good to see you both. Listen, we want to know your stories. We want to know what made you decide to go into the military and what that experience was like for you and for your families. Are you ready, darling?
I'm ready.
Share with us. Tell us who you are and tell us all about you.
My name's Kim Gaines. I'm a 16-year veteran from the United States Air Force. I was a neonatal intensive care nurse for most of that career. Since transitioning into civilian life, I've decided I just didn't quite fit in and ended up going back in a way. So I've served 10 years with the Army as a civilian nurse, and I've transitioned to the VA here in Carl Vinson.
Wonderful. Kim, thank you so much for your service.
Thank you.
I mean, you know, an Army nurse.
Well, adopted Army because of the Air Force. But my career there at Landstuhl was to help raise baby Army nurses. So I was the resident in charge of the nurse residency program at Landstuhl in Germany.
What was that experience like for you?
It was wonderful. I love molding future nurses that are not only going to benefit our military, but hopefully once they transition back to the civilian community, that they'll help everybody.
So you have imprinted many lives.
Yeah, a little bit.
And tell us about your family.
I'm a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
I have two chosen children.
Yeah.
So my oldest was adopted from Vietnam and the baby from China. Wow. But they're not so little anymore.
How old are they now?
18 and 13.
18 and 13. I bet they've got a lot of stories to tell as well.
A few. I've dragged them all over.
Thank you so much, Kim. All right, young lady, this is your opportunity. The floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Marcy Montfort. I am a veteran from the Navy, which I served 6 years as enlisted, and also transitioned into the Army Reserve as Army Nurse Corps officer. 3 years, of course, with a medical discharge. Since then, I transitioned into serving the veterans and the entity of the VHA, but it started out with the Department of Navy. So now I am deciding to have my retirement here with the VHA, Veterans Health Administration, through the VA system.
Wonderful. So many years of service. Now, when you first joined the military, how old were you and what did your family say?
When I first joined, I was 24 years old. During boot camp, I turned 25 in less than 5 days later.
Wow.
I was a single parent. My son was 7 years old at the time. So I was still thinking, how was I going to do this as a single parent?
Yeah.
So my goal was to come in and get funding for school, you know, through the GI Bill.
Right.
So the GI Bill was pretty much what paid for my educations throughout the system.
Very good. Now, how old is your son now?
My son is 30 years old.
Oh, my Lord, honey. And you know, from all of the time, the many years that you've spent in the military, can you think of a time that has most impacted your life during your years of service?
I think just the sense of being a part of a community while active duty is not like, I don't think most non-military families can relate to. And I think that impacted me the longest and the most.
Very good. What about you?
For me, since I didn't retire, I still wanted to partake in the military. So of course, my father, who's a retiree from the Army Reserve, I still have to find a way to get like access to go to the base exchange and the commissary. So I still like that part of life.
Yeah.
So I still try to get that.
And that's a good thing too. And you know, when you talk about our experiences in the military, my side of it, of course, was as the spouse and working with the families, the family readiness groups, and hosting all of the different coffee groups that we had to do. I know that side of it, you know, but being able to have the opportunity to help families, for me, that just touched my heart so much. What do you miss the most?
Well, we've just been out of, even though it was 10 years as a civilian, we were on an Army installation overseas, so we've just been back in Georgia for a year, and my kids would say it's that sense of community, and that even when they started school there, when a new kid came in, it was a big deal, and everyone was so excited, and you don't see that here so much in the civilian. It's just a new kid, whereas I think they miss that sense of inclusiveness, that they, no matter what, they had experienced that frequent move, and they were going to be all embracing of that new child that came in.
Oh, that's so good. And then that commonality that they shared and the diversity that we're able to experience in the military.
For me, it was the camaraderie with the military families. Even after medically discharging from the Army Reserve and becoming a nurse in my civilian life, I was still had to have that connection with my military friends. So even though mostly we're in Virginia, because I just transferred from Virginia, but I've been gone. This is my home. Georgia is my home, Warner Robins, Georgia, but I was gone for like 22 years. So with that being said, I'm still trying to adjust.
Yes.
Still an adjustment process.
And getting acclimated to things.
Exactly.
And now you work with veterans now. What sense of pride or what feelings do you have being able to do what you do now at the level in what you're doing, still having that connectiveness with military families?
I'm a nurse educator, so that's my job, and I really want to help the staff here develop the most so that they give the best care possible to the veterans. And it's selfish because I'm a veteran and I get my care right here. So some people would say I have a vested interest in that, but to me, it's just I want to make sure that veterans get the best care possible by the staff. And my small part is helping with staff development, and so that's what I do.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right. What is it about you?
For myself, training the nurses that take care of the veterans. A senior nursing leader for this program called BCM, it's Barcode Medication Administration. It's just simply a software program where you train the nurses how to use the scanner to administer the medication. So overall, we're still having to take care of the veterans, but the thing is training the nurse how to properly administer to the veteran without any errors.
So there it is. There's that cycle right there where you still have your hand, your imprint on the veterans' families. So, you know, when you think about young people now and young women joining the military, there's a young girl who just graduated from high school who's a Marine now, and I had a chance to kind of chat with her this morning. She's in North Carolina. And so when you see these young persons in the military now, and from when you actually enlisted or got commissioned, what advice do you want to give to them? Because, you know, there's still that stigma about females being in the military, and where you have to definitely prove yourself more so than the man because you are the minority. What kind of words of wisdom do you want to give to these young ladies who are considering the military and the ones who've just started?
I've kind of, my oldest is a freshman at Georgia. And she has an Army ROTC scholarship. So I know my baby is going to be an Army officer. And some people said, you encourage that? And I was yes. Having been in that environment, I think it is a wonderful place. And I think women now have many more opportunities. And and if they want to, they can climb high and do whatever they want to. So no, I would totally encourage any young woman to join the military.
Very good.
I think there's lots of options, and the sky's the limit.
The sky is the limit. It really is. And, you know, you talked about how initially you joined for the betterment of, you know, for your son, you
Right.
know, to improve his quality of life.
Right.
What words of wisdom do you want to give to those young ladies out there?
This is a branch of service, 5 branches of service, which is considered equal opportunity. So there is opportunity for growth in the military. If I had to do it all over again, I would probably do through scholarship or either through a commissioning program.
Right.
Yeah. So
Very
if I
good.
had to do it all over again,
That's what you would do.
I would do.
And you two are single mothers. Look at you.
Yes.
You two are like sheroes here. You are the sheroes here. You know, because, I mean, it's hard enough for us to be moms.
It is.
And to be single mothers to where you're having to really take care of business on different levels and different platforms. And to do that also being in the military. That says a lot about your strength.
Right.
Where do you think all that comes from, your strength?
Perseverance. Perseverance, really.
Yeah.
I just had that moment where, you know, I remember teaching my son at the time. He had to be like a latch door key kid, you know, and call me when you get home. As soon as you get home, I remember getting that
Lock the
phone. I
doors.
remember getting that one phone call from him, and he said he called my job. He said, "Is Petty Officer Mumford available?" I said, "That's my son."
Baby. And that is so great. And I'm sure with his experiences, being your son throughout the military has really made him to a great young man.
Right. He didn't choose the military pathway, but he is successful in his career. He's a mortician.
Nice.
Yes, so he's an independent contractor for his business.
Very good. Very good. And you, young lady, you have adopted 2 beautiful young girls
Yes.
from different countries.
Different countries. I always say I went on vacation and came home with the best souvenir possible.
Yes, you did. The one you can't take back.
You
either.
can't take that.
And you know, and for your girls to experience life the way they did with you, what values have they taken from that?
I think they're much more worldly, and I mean that in the best way. They're very open to different cultures, different ways people think and speak, and they're world travelers.
Wonderful.
So I think they're much more diverse. They're much more enlightened about
Yes.
the world, and so I love that.
Well, I've become more enlightened just by speaking to you two. Thank you, ladies, so much for your service. Thank you so much for the courage that it's taken for you to do what you've had to do to get what you needed to get done. Thank you so much for the love that you have for your job and for the people out there that you serve. Thank you for continuing to serve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, this is Marcy and Kim, ladies and gentlemen.
First Lawrence Bank invites you to experience banking at its best. Whether you have personal or business needs, we're a full-service bank big enough to handle all of your banking needs and small enough to provide you with that personal touch you've grown to expect from a community bank like First Lawrence Bank. Looking forward to your future. That's First Lawrence Bank in Dublin and Dexter, member FDIC.
You know, this has been such a great day, just sitting here speaking with these young ladies that have served in different branches of the military and their lives that they've lived, and then, of course, their transition. We've got 2 right here that are definitely eager to speak with you and just to kind of share their story and the things that they've been involved in. Are you all ready for this?
Yes.
All right, here we go. We're going to start with you, ma'am.
Okay. My name is Robin Robinson. I was in the military from 1977 July until 1991. I love the military, and I love the experiences that I had with it. I'm from a long line of military men, but I was one of the first females on my mother's side to go.
What did they say when you made that decision in 1977?
My father wanted to know what happened to becoming a lawyer. But I wouldn't have changed it for the world. Wow. Yes.
And so share with us some of your experiences, because we know there's a plethora of things that you've done, accomplishments that you've made. I mean, tell us all about that.
Well, they had just opened my career field as evac support logistics 2 females, and it was considered a 76 Juliet. And so therefore my career field was with very few women. Right. And so I earned a form of command voice, and I enjoyed it immensely.
Yes.
I had some wonderful guys working with me and for me, and we had a great family entity. Because their children were my children, and their wives and us were one tight-knit group, because at any given moment we packed up and we went somewhere with any conflict in the world, you know. And even though we were mothers and fathers, we had to make sure that there was someone there to pick up the ball when we were gone, you know. And so sometimes it was very difficult, like to wake up one morning and decide that we're going to circle the flight line this morning, but let me call my parents because I'm heading to Egypt from Washington State, you know. Yes. And Daddy, please come and get my baby.
That's right.
Yes. So, but we learned so much. Yeah. We learned wonderful things.
And you know, when you gave your title, your job of what you did, I don't help them to understand what a day in the office would be like for you on a mission.
Some mornings I'm in places like in Africa, between Egypt and Cairo and Israel, and we have to figure out how we're going to get our medical equipment and supplies to finance our soldiers, to make sure that they get the best of care, and to set up our MASH units that are just like any major medical hospital in the middle of the desert. So that requires a lot of logistic support. And you have to be able to communicate with different countries to find out how we're going to get one item from point A to point B, because a lot of our medical items are not procured in some countries. So we travel very light, but we travel very hard.
And you've got the knees to prove it.
Yes, I have 2 brand new ones.
Because did you have to jump out of planes, or you're airborne?
I'm Army Airborne Support, and we do like MASH units. So we ride the bubble up, and that's our OR. Our tents are mobile with generator active, but we set up a major hospital just like that.
That's wonderful. So all of those years of my watching MASH, here you are.
Real. It is real.
It's real.
Yes, and you will see some amazing things. We have the best doctors in the world. Our nursing staff is beyond reproach. And our soldiers will guard you at any given time, day or night, because we don't sleep.
That's right. That's right. And now here you are. What is your job here at the VA?
I couldn't actually walk away from the military, so now I'm here at the Carl Vinson VA, and I'm in medical records. And I wear dual hats. I'm also the chaplain for the VFW, Post 998.
In Warner Robins.
I'm also in the blind rehab, the BVA. And I'm also on the national team that we travel all over the world, and we compete with any veteran in any sport, no matter what your disability is.
Aren't you a gold medalist?
Yes, I am.
I'm telling all your business here. And tell us about that.
Since I've lost my vision, I have had the opportunity to work with some of the most amazing disabled veterans that I would put our team up against any non-handicapped or disabled person, because we do everything from hockey on ice to cross-country skiing to archery. And some of our soldiers have major amputees, or, you know, some of us are vision impaired. Some of us are wheelchair veterans, but we do it all.
Oh, I love that. Yes. Another Shiro. I tell you, I think we should just name this show the Shiros, because what you ladies are showing us is just a strength that you all have had and still have, and just how you shine. In the midst of adversity, in the midst of being at war, you shine.
Thank you.
So there you go, sister.
Yes,
we're going to talk more about the association after we meet this one here to my right. How are you, Benita?
Fine.
All right, talk to us.
My name is Benita Chappell. I was in 988 Supply Company, Reserve in Dublin, Georgia, and I served with them from 1988 until 1996, and we went to the Gulf War from 1990 to 1991, and And the people who encouraged me to go in the military was my uncle Sammy Nelson.
Sammy did.
Yes, yes. And my mom. She only gave me two options: to go to the military or go to college, and I did both of them.
And you know, our families are related through marriage, and so you and I have been knowing each other for a long time. Actually, graduated at the same time.
Yes.
And you know, what the experiences that you had in the military? Of course, you couldn't have gotten them just staying here in Dublin.
Right.
Tell us about your experiences and what you love most about that.
Some of my experience in the military was that brother and sister love, and because I couldn't have gotten that here, so it was just the brother. I think it was just his sister and the brotherhood. We earned that. We had that in the Gulf War. We had to become brothers and sisters because we didn't have nobody else. It was just us as a unit.
I remember that time. I remember when the Gulf War took place. I was in college, and my brother was a Marine, and it was just, for us, college students, being kind of removed from it a little bit, but just seeing, oh my gosh, this is what's going on.
Right.
What was that experience like for you?
Well, I was in college, and then I had to stop college, and I had to go to active duty, which was hard to do, but I had to do it. And when I came back off of active duty in 1991, I started going back to college. And I did finish college, and I became an accountant. And in 1998, my vision started getting bad. I started seeing two of everything. Oh, wow. And so in 1998, I started seeing two of everything. And then, so I still was working. I still was working as an accountant. Still working as an accountant. So you can't say what you cannot do. Right. I was still working as an accountant. I worked as an accountant until 2010, and I just decided to give it up because the VA they had given me 70%. So I just took it. I said no. I said I need 100%. So I wrote President Barack Obama, and he gave me all my benefits, the Social Security and the VA benefits. So that's what I did.
Such a blessing.
I'm Marcus Clements with Clements & King Insurance. Are you on Medicare or about to go on Medicare? Clements & King Insurance has all the answers to all that's available to you when you reach this age. Clements & King Insurance for all your health and life insurance needs.
For you two, you both are part of the Blinded Veterans Association.
Right.
And we want you to kind of share your story concerning that and how did that happen. Are you able to share?
Yes.
Okay.
This young lady right here, she called me one day and she told me, says, well, I'm just now getting back from 6 weeks of going to the Augusta VA. And there we have a major blind rehab center where anything that you have in your home or anything that you would like to do or think you couldn't do or want to be comfortable at doing it, we have a great team of professionals that will teach you from building a lawnmower or adapting to your lawnmower to cooking in if you're totally blind. And they can adapt things to fit your circumstances. So never say never. And since I met Benita, I have met some of the most unusual. We all have our self-pity time, when we go, woe is me, and the world stops turning. But you can look to your left or your right, and you can see other veterans that are way worse off than you. So the pity party stops, and you think about what is it that I want to do and how I'm going to go about doing it. And we have some of the best centers in the world. I mean, my government has taken good care of me. I loved being in the military. I loved serving. But at the same time, I've only been legally blind for less than a year and a half. First, I was vision impaired. I got my disability in Cairo. I worked with the multinational forces there. And between Egypt and Israel, and I handled contaminated waste. And it took almost 3 years for it to come to surface. So I just thought I was going crazy, It took my mother to actually let me know that something is not right there.
right.
Yeah.
And so it was because of that contaminated waste that you
Yes.
handled from years ago.
Yes. Because we had 13 nations on a post that was 6 miles long, 10 miles wide. And we were one entity that we handled all different parts of support to do whatever to end the war. And we had our major mass unit there. And so you ran into a lot of different countries with a lot of different issues. But we were one entity. And so somehow, some way, I got infected. And by the time I found out about it, I had been out of the military almost 2 years. And then things started happening.
Right. And so that's when you noticed like the deterioration in your
Yes.
vision.
Yes, it went from losing my hair to not being able to see things or focus to headaches, that kind of thing. And one of our nurses in Atlanta, she recognized my syndromes, and she had me do some tests, and she found out that I was vision impaired.
And the blessing in that is that you noticed changes
Yes.
and you did seek
Yes.
treatment for that.
Yes.
And we're so thankful for the professionals that have been
True.
with you all the step of the way,
Yes.
of course. And here you are, you're sitting with us here, and you're
Yes.
able to share with us, and you have such a great attitude. It's like you wouldn't take anything back.
I wouldn't really change anything except for maybe not getting sick. But in the process of that, it has made me meet a group of people that I would have never been in contact with. It made me realize that it is so easy and so simple to help someone. And the life that we build together in the military, I wish could pour into the civilian life, because there, in our military forces, we are one entity. And so we don't have time for the little siblings that we normally do as a family. So we have our fights, our spats, we beat each other up and this kind of thing.
Just
but
like
we
family.
always fall back on each
Always fall back on each other. And you know, I think that's very special about the military, is that camaraderie, that
Yes.
connectiveness that you have. Thank you for sharing that with us. Benita, share with us your story, because you hear hers, we hear hers, but we know you have your own story. Share with us, okay?
Yes, the Blind and Veterans Association, they have 17 regions in our country, and Georgia is one of our regional groups, and we have 4 chapters in Georgia. It's Columbus, Atlanta, Dublin, and Augusta. Augusta just got started, and my optic nerve became bad. That's how I became vision impaired, and it was from the nerve gas from the Gulf War.
Nerve gas.
Right, from the Gulf War. And I also have another disease called stiff person syndrome, and that affects my whole nervous system.
Is that also from the Gulf War as well?
Yes, it is. But it is.
When you, she shared about the things that she was noticing happen and the changes in her body. Did you notice those changes right away, or was it something that?
No, it was a couple of years. I got back in 1991. In 1998, my vision, I started seeing 2 of everything. I was at work one day, and a girl said, something wrong with your eyes. I said, what? And then I started seeing 2 of everything, and I started going to the doctor. Didn't know that I can get compensation. I didn't know anything about that. So my Uncle Sammy, he told me, he said, you can get some compensation behind that. I said, really? So I tried for years. And sometimes it takes a long time to get compensated. I tried for years, and they wouldn't give it to me. They said, that wasn't from that. But they finally gave it to me in 2007. And they called that undiagnosed illness. They don't even call it an illness.
When hearing you share about that from the Gulf War, talking about the nerve gas, talking about the contamination, there are probably so many other military people who have, and you've kind of able to connect with some of those people from the association that you're a part of. And
Yes. As a matter of fact, when I went to National this year, I met this guy, and he served in the Gulf War, and he has stiff person syndrome too. So you know, we talked and stuff. His name is Sean Wilbert. And, you know, we talked and stuff like that. So.
At Optum Healthcare, we know you're not yourself when even one part of yourself is hurt. Because in orthopedics, everything is connected. Bones, joints, ligaments, and cartilage. At Optum Healthcare, we're connected too. An orthopedic specialist like Dr. Patrick Hansen in Dublin covers every bone in your body. Dr. Hansen will work together with you to get you back to being you. Optum Healthcare at the corner of Moore Station Road and Industrial Boulevard. Optum Healthcare, Dublin.
You know, you hear the upside of the military, the highs of your experience and the experience that you've taken from it and the good things. And, you know, and then the downside of certain places that you were cause you to have, you know, the physical impairments.
Yes.
And so you all have to navigate through life a little bit differently now.
Oh, definitely.
Tell us about the changes that you've had to make in your life, the adjustments that you've had to make because you're a mom.
Yes.
You've had to talk to us about that because, you know, your everyday lifestyle had to change.
Definitely.
You're having to make concessions to where something that was second nature to you, you're having to make those adjustments because of the sacrifices that you made for us, for our country, for the people here.
Yes. Well, my son, my firstborn, he went Navy, which I found very unusual. And my baby boy, he was born in Germany. So at the time I got married, and he and I grew up together and experienced military life because he was like, my mommy carries an M16, but she also bakes cookies, you know.
That's so cute.
So he's like, nobody messes with me because my mommy will get you, you know. But I think the transition from soldier to mother to chaplain to BVA was a walk that I think, because I'm very religious, I have a feeling that God does things for a reason. And to prepare me to be able to speak to any veteran during any circumstances, he put me in places that I would have never thought of being in. And now that I work here at the VA hospital too, and I do my volunteer service here too, not only 10 hours a day, but I also come after duty hours because my seniors are here. And there's always something that I'm able to do to reach out and touch someone. And in the process of that, my journey, I would never have changed.
The blessing in that is, you know, it's like, you know, we know the Lord doesn't put any more on us than we can bear.
No.
But he knew that he could trust you.
Yes. He made our shoulders strong.
Yes, he did.
Because now I've had my weeping moments, and as Benita can attest for, in the process of me losing my sight, I was still working here at the VA, and I went from being Miss Moncho, VFW, chaplain, Army Airborne, to all of a sudden, should I be able to drive my brand new Jeep, you know? And it was a bad road there for a while. And so our camaraderie held me up, because whereas she could tell me things that were so horrific and she made it through, I knew that I could make it too. And so we're like sisters, and we're comrades.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And Benita, you share with us things that have had to change in your life.
Well, the things that had changed in my life is I had to stop driving.
You love to drive.
And I
you love to go.
drive
You love to be gone.
Right. Because I used to drive from Atlanta down here all the time. I used to drive everybody everywhere. But since I had to stop driving because I became legally blind last year. So I had to stop driving. And that was just the hardest thing to do, was to stop driving.
Leave it, to give up that freedom.
To give up their independence from driving. But I gave it up, and I let my mom and my sister, they drive me around most of the time. And another thing with the BVA, is, you know, you get monetary benefits, and you get, you know, you learn new people. Like like at National, it's this guy, he walk around, you swear he can see, but he can't see anything. And he gets around better than me. Better than me. So, those type of things.
So you're able to connect with other people
Right.
with that commonness,
Right.
and you're able to support one another
Right.
as you navigate through.
Right.
And what I love about you two is you're not, sitting here saying, hey, this has been an easy road.
Oh, no.
You've had some challenges. You've had those times where it's been like, Lord, why me?
Yes.
But here you are, you're still persevering, and you wanted to come on here and to share your story. And so we as a community are just very proud of you. We're proud and we're thankful for you two, for the journeys that you've made and the strides that you've taken and how you're still helping others. Any last words that you want to give to the people out there to encourage them? Because, a lot of times when it's leading up to like Veterans Day, people really want to, thank you for your service. They really want to tell you we appreciate you. But I mean, not just today, not just this month, but any day, any time I meet a service member, I always thank them. I always do, because that life afforded me many opportunities, and knowing the sacrifices that you all individually had to make and are still making for the good of the land, especially. Any last words you'd like to share?
I believe that our children and the young generation that's coming up, the military will groom you and mold you and make you know that you're capable of many things. As I sit here now, I'm 61 years old. I've been in the military for over 15 years active duty, but I come from a military family. Right. Both of my fathers were military men. I have 9 uncles that were. It's something that I think our children should experience, because it will let you know your independence and your capabilities. And you have the largest family in the whole world, so I mean, But as I sit here now and I think about it, I was a soldier, I was a leader, I commanded men, because we had very few women in our career field. And I'm a chaplain for the VFW. I'm a member of the Blind Veterans Association, which is a strong force in America. And I'm on the national team where I do cross-country skiing. I can do snowmobiling, where I can't drive my Jeep, but I can drive my mobile. But it's a wonderful experience. Right. It's a great journey. Yes. And it's one I'm so glad I didn't miss. We're glad that
you took that journey and that you didn't miss it.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Benita, any last words?
I'm also glad I didn't miss that journey too, because it was a good journey, although I did become legally blind. And like, if you're just sitting home and not doing anything with yourself and feeling sorry for yourself and getting depressed, that's not the way to go. You need to get out and join a club, join the BVA. If you're legally blind, you can join the BVA. If you're vision impaired, you can come out every third Wednesday of the month. And we have a support group meeting every third Wednesday of the month. And, just don't sit home. Yeah. Because at first I was just sitting home not doing nothing. Right. Just sitting home feeling sorry for myself. But I joined the BVA and I started getting out, going to national. We went to Reno, Jacksonville. We go to national. We travel all over. And so, and I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This has been great. But just to have this opportunity to witness these ladies. Benita, you had something else you wanted to say?
Yes. If anybody want to get in contact with me concerning the BVA or vision impaired, you can give me a call at 478-484-1251.
Say it one more time.
478-484-1251. And if I can't get you in contact, I get you in contact with whoever you need to get in contact with.
Very good. You're done now?
I'm done.
I have one more thing. And if there's any disabled veterans out there that truly miss basketball, shooting, fishing, golfing, we do blind disc golf too, We have an activity that you can come here to your Dublin VA and see your recreation coordinator. And there's a sport that you want to do that you couldn't do or that you want to go back to doing. Come and join us. We're here.
I love that. Very good. Thank you, ladies, so much. This has really been such a great day, an opportunity to meet these wonderful ladies, to let them share their stories, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the fact that they're living to tell about it and they're still supporting veterans is a blessing. Thank you to all the female veterans, all the male veterans, anyone who is serving and have yet to serve. Thank you so much. I have so many girlfriends who are still in the military and have served at some capacity. Thank you, ladies. We appreciate you all so much. Veterans Day is coming up. That's a time where we honor all veterans. Thank you all for your service. It's been a good day.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have for Real Talk, ladies and gentlemen, on TV 35. And please, keep watching.